All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 514 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Man, I feel a little refreshed. A little long weekend, and actually, doing some things around the house that was actually, refreshing to do. It actually was a pretty good weekend. I mean, I know if you're looking behind me, I got some things a little different. My couch is gone. It's kind of moved over here now, and I'm moving some stuff around because in the long term, we are planning on moving sometime, within the next few months. So there's a lot going on here. So bear with me with the look of certain things. You'll see a TV over here one day, a box over there the next day. So if you're watching on the YouTube and Rumble side, it's going to look kind of weird a little bit. But nevertheless, the show must go on. And we're going to talk wide receiver today. We're going to talk like who's a good fit for wide receiver 2 or maybe be a wide receiver 1 for the Falcons, because there's no doubt. I believe the Falcons are going to pick up a wide receiver in this upcoming draft with all the picks they got. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have 9 picks. Look like they have 9 picks going into the upcoming draft. So it's going to be really interesting to see if a wide receiver comes out of that. But I'm going to give you a few wide receivers that may come out of the draft, or they may pull one out of free agency, because we have a lot of options with our cap space now. So there's a lot going on here. So with that being said, we're going to get into all of that and a little bit more. If this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And I want to thank you guys once again for the support. You guys are absolutely amazing. I know things are going to be a little bit different because the off season technically is, here now. But I'm here to tell you guys that the football season don't stop. There's always things to be moving around, a lot of things that be going on. And you really can't go wrong with following your favorite team. And I know over here, our favorite team is the Falcons, also Georgia Southern football. Things just continue to move. People are going to be getting picked up, as far as recruiting on the college side and free agency in the draft on the professional side. So we're going to get into this. I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions, and we're just going to go into that. Also, the show is bought by BetUS. Go ahead and click that link down in the description. Put down $100 and you get 125% bet book bonus. It helps the show. And it also can help you out as far as putting some wagers down on some of these playoff games, these NBA games, MMA, esports, everything under that umbrella. Go ahead and put some wagers down on not just the games, but certain players and certain parts of the game, halves, whether you want to do a quarter of a game, it's all there. So hopefully you guys will be able to check that out as well. I really would appreciate it. It helps the show in the long run. $100 give you 125% bet book bonus. I said enough. Let's go ahead and get into this. What wide receiver could be a good fit for the Falcons? Now, we have Drake London. Olamide Zaccheaus is still here. We got a couple other guys who can do some things. I'm not sure Frank Darby is going to still be on the roster. We all know for certain you're going to have Drake London. Another pass catcher you're going to have is Kyle Pitts. Those two guys are going to be here. Both of these guys can do a little bit of everything. They can go across the middle. And I think Drake London is specialized going across the middle, doing very well for the team throughout the season. He can go across the middle. He also can go down the sideline. We saw Kyle Pitts do the same thing. But we do need maybe 2 more receivers. So who could be a good fit at wide receiver number 2? We're going to talk about free agency first. Now, we're going to have a handful of guys that's going into free agency. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but I'm going to talk about the top players that's going to be in the free agency class for 2023. And I'm just going to give you my thoughts and opinions on each one. And then we're going to jump into the draft as well. I'm going to give you the draft picks that the Falcons have, and I'm going to talk about the draft, the receivers that are coming out the draft. So I'm giving my thoughts and opinions on them. Now, when you look at this, with the free agency class, you got Jacoby Myers, you got Juju Smith-Schuster, Darius Slayton, DJ Shark, Alan Lazard, Marvin Jones, Mecole Hardman, Jarvis Landry. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, Jarvis Landry is in my opinion, I think Jarvis Landry is off the table. I don't think I really want Jarvis Landry. That's just my personal opinion. He may do okay for the Falcons. I mean, he's only 30 years old, but it just, that right there, it just doesn't really, just my personal opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. I know that's a crazy take that some people may think about, like, oh man, why not? No, it just don't seem right with me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But I'm looking at other guys. Juju Smith-Schuster would be an excellent fit, but something about him just, I don't know if it has something to do with his attitude or whatever the case may be. I know he had a big deal, with another receiver, Antonio Brown, at one point, and that was a big deal as far as how he was being going. I would say just AB was going after him. So I don't know if he has an attitude issue, but while he was moved out of Pittsburgh, I don't think he does. I think he'll be okay. I'm not sure. Darius Slayton, I've seen him play so far. He looks pretty good. I'm not against getting him. DJ Shark is another one that looks really nice. I think he will be pretty good as well. He's 6'4". I think he kind of fits that mold that Arthur Smith actually wants, a big, tall receiver, and he wants those guys to be on the team. I want to see what his blocking downfield is like, because that's one thing that Coach Arthur Smith really likes. You want to see what the blocking downfield is like. If he can block for Tyler Algier or other running backs that be running the ball, because we like to run the ball, if that's the case, this might be the guy for Atlanta. DJ Shark, I think this will be the one that they will, go after. Alan Lazard, the only thing Lazard leaves Green Bay, I think he leaves Green Bay if Aaron Rodgers is not playing next year. If he's not playing, Lazard is gone. Marvin Jones, he's a little bit on the older side, 33 years old, but I'm not sure if that's somebody that, the Falcons would want to pick up as well. Maybe. That's just somebody that I don't see in a Falcons uniform. Mecole Hardman is definitely a popular pick, former Georgia Bulldog. I would like to see him in the slot. You could probably put him in the place of what Alamai Zaccheaus has done. So if you pick up somebody like Mecole Hardman, you're probably going to try to get a more of a bigger receiver in the draft. So I can see that as well. So as of right now, I'm looking at DJ Chark and Mecole Hardman. I think those two guys are probably the two guys that Atlanta will probably go after. I would like to see Mecole be here just because of the Georgia reference, because I know he's a Georgia Bulldog that will produce. I think he would do very well. He did have an ankle injury, this year. I think it was this year. But I think he will be just fine. He'll be just fine. Other ones that's noted that you may want to look into, Noah Brown for the Cowboys. You also have Nelson Aguilar. AJ Green is good, but he's a little bit on the older side. I don't see that happening. I'm looking at some other ones here. They got Julio Jones. I think Julio's done. Mac Hollins for Las Vegas. Okay. On this list that I see here, I really just see Nelson Aguilar. He still has been capable of being very productive. He's been really productive in his career. Even when you kind of ride him off, he still makes things happen. So on the free agent side, I'm looking at Mecole. I'm looking at DJ Chark. Maybe Juju Smith-Schuster. Don't know much about Jacoby Myers. Don't know much about him, but I heard he may be okay. So Slayton, I don't think Slayton's leaving. I think Slayton's going to end up being with the Giants. I don't see him. I think he's going to end up re-signing with them. I mean, he's pretty young. He just turned 26. And I will be extremely surprised if he leaves the Giants. But I'm looking at these other guys. Chark looks like he will be perfect in our team program, or whatever you want to call it. I lost the words just then. But he'll be good for what we do. Also, I kind of see that Mecole Hardman as well. Now, if you want to talk about the draft, the Falcons have the number 8th pick. They also have the 45th pick in round 2, the 76th pick in round 3. In round 4, they have 2 picks. One from Tennessee. I want to think that's from the Julio Jones trade. I think that's the other part of the Julio Jones trade. And the 4th pick, 113. So they got 3 picks right behind each other. Considering none of this stuff moves around. Round 5, we have a 5th round pick again from the Calvin Ridley pick. And I think that's a weird pick how that plays out. I'm not sure if, they'll be compensated for that. Depends on what Calvin Ridley does. That may be for 2024. I'm not really sure, but I know that pick can be higher if other things happen this following year, next year coming up. 6th round, you have 182. In the 7th round, you got 2 picks, one from Las Vegas, one from Buffalo. I think those 7th round picks is basically, one is the Brian Edwards trade and the other one is the Dean Marlowe trade. So with that being said, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 picks. I don't see us doing anything wide receiver wise with the first 2 picks. I just don't see it. We may end up going with defense there. But I think around the 3rd, 4th round, these 3 picks, the 3rd round pick, and the 2 in the 4th round, unless if somebody that you can't miss on is still there, I see that's where you'll probably pick up a receiver. And I'm here and I'm going to give you my thoughts on the few receivers that are available. Rashid Rice from SMU. Jalen Hyatt from Tennessee. I think he's going to be really good. It's just a gut feeling. Parker Washington from Penn State, another good one. Nathaniel Dell from Houston. I don't know much about him. Rome Odunze, I think I said that right, from Washington. You also have Jackson Smith-Njigba from Ohio State. A lot of people have been really big on him, and he's a day 2 pickup. So that's someone you may want to look into as well. Josh Downs from North Carolina. Jordan Addison from USC. I think he just now decided to jump into the draft, so that's really interesting on him. I think he will be really good for us as well. Picking up a former Drake London teammate. I think he was with them. I think he was. No, he was at Pittsburgh. I take that back. He was at Pittsburgh first. I take that back. Zay Flowers from Boston College. And we also have Quentin Johnson from TCU. Quentin Johnson from TCU is probably like the biggest one that they're talking about, 6'4", 215. Not necessarily sure because there's going to be a knock on him because of the Georgia game, believe it or not. I think it's going to be a big knock on him. So I don't see people are gonna look at him kind of sideways, but he probably still end up being the first receiver picked in the draft. I mean, 6'4", 215, and he runs a 4.4. I mean, what are we talking about here? As far as all these players that I'm thinking about, one person what I really would think that will do very well for us, I think Josh Downs from North Carolina. He's an underneath route runner. You want to put him in the slot, but I don't know if he could be able to be one of those guys that will be a vertical threat. The vertical threat that I'm looking for is really the Jalen Hyatt from Tennessee. I think this could be the guy that would complement Drake London very well because Drake London is a tweener. He could be a vertical threat. I've seen him catch balls, at his highest point. He also could go across the middle. But one guy who you just have to worry about just killing guys over the top is Jalen Hyatt. 18.9 yards per catch. This guy could be the guy that you may want to look into as far as a wide receiver number 2. Now, if you want to look at Drake London and possibly have him still be a possible number 2 receiver, which I don't see that happening, if you was to do that, you may want to go all out and jump up and get someone like the guy from TCU, Quentin Johnson, which I don't think he's going to be on the board. He'll be at the board number 8, I think, but maybe be at the board at number 45. But I just don't see us trying to pick him up right away. But I will say this. With the way that Coach Arthur Smith has been drafting, it'll be very difficult to not look at defense with that 8th pick. But if Quentin Johnson's still there at number 2, in the 2nd round at 45, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. I doubt it if he'll still be there, but I would not be surprised if he picks him up because he's already known for picking big, tall receivers. But if it was up to me personally, I think around that 3rd or 4th round, day 2 pick, I would really think that you would go after, like I said, Jalen Hyatt, also the guy from Ohio State, Jackson Smith-Njigba. I think you will probably go after him as well. I think he will be really good in the slot as well, but he also could go across down the field as well. So, Yeah, that would be a really good pick as well. But I think at the end of the day, those two guys, Hyatt, Nigba, and also don't sleep on Rashid Rice as well. He's a late day 2 pick at 6'2", 203. This could be somebody that they could go after as well. So, I to be honest with you, with him being a possession receiver, this may be the move, because even at a possession receiver, he could be everything that, that Coach Arthur Smith wants. So, like I said, I would not be surprised if Quentin Johnson, is that his name? Yeah, Quentin Johnson falls. He'll probably go after him. My personal pick, I think they should go after Jalen Hyatt or Nigba from Smith Nigba from Ohio State. But realistically, Rashid Rice from SMU might be that guy. There's other guys that's been in the draft that are not really talked about here, but we will definitely be talking about them down the road, because there's a lot of receivers that's going to be trying to get some type of shine and try to get in the NFL. It's one of the weakest positions throughout the entire draft, but you have like 2 or 3, maybe 4 guys that will fit very well in this system that, the Falcons are doing. Like I said, Rashid Weiss, I can't say that. It's a tongue twister for me. It's not Rashid, it's Rashid Rice from SMU. You also have Smith Nigma from Ohio State, Jalen Hyatt from Tennessee, and like I said, I don't know, maybe Jordan Addison, maybe, because he's another guy he's another speed receiver that can do some things. But it also just depends on where he will be at in the first round, because he's projected to go first. He's projected to go in the first round. So we'll see how that goes. We'll just leave it from there, because there's a lot of other receivers. Josh Downs, another one, but I'm not sure. I named the ones that I thought that would be okay, and I'll just leave it at that. Also, we talked about a free agency guys that could possibly be picked up as well. The way our receivers looking right now, I would not be surprised if we try to get one from both sides. Get one in free agency and pick up one in the draft. How early or late is yet to be determined. Not really sure how that will go, but we'll look at it at that point and go from there. We'll look at it when it gets there, and we'll give our thoughts and opinions. We'll just go from there. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think about this wide receiver position. Could we get a wide receiver 2 in the draft, or could we get one in free agency? Can we potentially get a wide receiver 1? Depends on how well this receiver comes in and produce. Nothing to take away from Drake London, because Drake London is going to get his. Kyle Pitts is going to get his. Austin Keys, if he's still on the roster, he's going to get his. But we do need another receiver. At least one. So we'll see how that goes. I can be found on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, also on YouTube and Rumble. Let me know what you guys think. Click those links down in the description. All those links down there to support the show. BetUS, Cash App, also PayPal, anywhere you want to, basically, support the channel. Really, really appreciate it. And I'm going to get up out of here. And it's been a long day for me. I got a lot of stuff done, but I was able to get this show done for you guys, and I will see you guys on a Thursday. No, not Thursday. My days are mixed up. See you guys on Wednesday. So you guys take it easy, and you guys be blessed. All right, y'all. Peace.